I know that you guys probably want me to talk about the opening first, so I'm just going to open with the opening. So the opening had always skipped forward, and finally, in this opening, we get to see the portion of time between that skip where Diablo used his stand. And I'll admit, that's a pretty cool idea. I mean, everyone has their own little time thing that they do with the opening. They've done stopping time, they've done rewinding time, and now they've done skipping time. I don't know what else they can do with time. So it's really cool how they implemented Diablo's stand into the opening. It did mess with my groove, though. So 1 minute I'm listening to this nice opening theme, and then and the next thing I know, I'm listening to some opera man like, oh! I mean, maybe if he was at least singing in the same key as the opening, it would have been okay. But anyway, now we get into the episode. It's the body swap episode! Yay! Remember Freaky Friday? Remember the hot chick? Remember that one arc from One Piece? Remember that arc from Dragon Ball? Remember every single Cartoon Network show? Remember Your Name? Well, all of that was just a Jojo reference. Jojo did it first. So we start off and everyone is passing out. And it's not just the people in the Coliseum. It looks like it's everyone within a certain radius, a very large radius it seems. And they swap bodies based on who is closest to them, from what I understood. And it sounds like it's not like random swaps, it's basically just two people who are closest to each other swap. Narantia and Giorno switch bodies, Trish and Mista switch bodies, and it is kind of humorous how they act within their new bodies, but it's also kind of interesting because it seems like their stands have had a power-up. And obviously that needs a whole explanation. It's funny, one of the interesting things about body swap episodes tend to be how superheroes switch their superpowers also, so they have to figure out how to use somebody else's powers, and that's usually a huge anchor on them. But with this, it doesn't seem to be a disadvantage for them to have swapped bodies. They get a power-up, and they don't have to figure out how to use a different power. They all have their same stands, just in a different body. Although granted, I'm sure that Trish doesn't see it that way. She's very upset to be in a man's body. And I guess the idea behind that is that because stands are life energy and they're swapping, you know, in essence, souls, that their life energy goes with them into the new body. So, that makes sense. And Polnareff, buddy, he's in a turtle now. But hey, he's alive, for now anyway. I mean, he's going to die. It's interesting because I would think that Polnareff and Diablo were closest to each other during this, so maybe they would swap. He was a little bit tilted towards the turtle. Maybe that counts, you know? Diablo was following the stand down the steps, so it's possible that that's what brought him closer to Bruno. Now, when they wake up and assess the situation, they take note that Bruno is still passed out over there. We already know that Bruno's life is kind of running short. His body can't really sustain itself much longer. He was basically already on the brink to death before this body swap situation happened. However, seeing him passed out there, they don't want to take the chance of getting near him and it turning out to be the boss just with a sneak attack, so they keep their distance from Bruno and don't really check to see who's in his body, if anyone's in his body. Now, Polnareff, in his turtle form, is explaining everything to everyone to kind of give us an insight on why the arrow has done this. So in order to understand that, we get a flashback, and apparently it's kind of a comedic flashback, right? Because it takes place after Polnareff, lost against Diablo, and he's hiding out. And it's the simplest, trivial thing. He has the arrow, but I dropped it on the other side of this table, and it's really hard to get it. It's just really hard to... I just can't reach it. Don't you hate when that happens to you? So he figures, wait a minute, I have superpowers. Brings out his stand to go get it for him, and almost as if it was fate, Silver Chariot just nicks his finger on the arrow. and he finds out that something really strange happens when a stand gets penetrated by one of the arrows. Similarly to the situation we have now, everyone around the farm just starts falling asleep. And that's when Silver Chariot takes this new form, which is Chariot Requiem. So apparently this new form is completely out of Polnareff's control. It just goes berserk, it does whatever it wants, but when Polnareff takes the arrow out of Chariot's hand, it returns to normal. Now, because Polnareff could never control Chariot Requiem, he never had the chance to experiment with it to see what it could do. But he theorized that pricking your stand with the arrow would unlock this ability to control minds of others. And that kind of peeks into what is happening now with everyone body swapping, because Chariot Requiem is just doing random things on its own and Polnareff can't really control it. So we end this episode with the body of Diavolo waking up, running down, and they're thinking, oh well, what if Diavolo didn't switch with anyone? We gotta capture him, just in case. And of course, if Diavolo is heading towards Chariot Requiem and takes the arrow and uses it on his own stand, that could cause some problems if he starts controlling the minds of others, you know? But of course, the episode ends with us realizing that it is Bruno who has taken over Diavolo's body. Yay! So I'm not really sure what kind of role the body swapping is going to play. I don't think that just taking the arrow back will undo the body swapping, but it does feel like we're being pressed for time to undo the body swapping, because it's affecting, you know, other people as well, and it's affecting them in a negative way. You know, we see a mother body swapped with her baby, and she's unable to help her baby now. Whew, that's a complicated situation right there. But definitely with the power-ups, I would imagine that they want to keep those power-ups, so I'm not really sure how that's going to turn out. Now, one has to wonder, if we're counting Doppio and Diavolo as separate souls, how is the body swapping going to work with them? Are they just going to go into a different body together? Or did Bruno specifically swap with Diavolo? And is Doppio still in that body? Is it going to be a Bruno and Doppio sharing this body type thing? Are we redeeming Doppio? And of course, if Bruno is in Diavolo's body, that's gotta mean that Diavolo is in Bruno's body, because we're going in twos, right? From what I understood in this episode anyway. So then I'm guessing that that means he's not actually asleep. He's faking it, and he's waiting for his chance to get one over on everyone. Obviously, he doesn't like to be crowded with a bunch of enemies, so he's going to wait for an opening. It's complicated because now he's in Bruno's body, and Bruno's body is literally falling apart. But I guess in a way, it also means that there's no pain for him, but he also can't see, right? Because Bruno couldn't see, and he was deaf and he couldn't see. He was only seeing essence of the souls. Ah, man, so a complicated situation right here. I kind of wonder if Diavolo could even body swap into Bruno's body, or if that wouldn't count. I mean, we're swapping souls. So you gotta kind of wonder, would he have to go into a living body? We still have a lot of questions to be answered, and I'm sure that the episode following will catch up on a lot of that. I'm excited to see where this goes, though. They have definitely hyped me up, and I hope you are excited as well, so type in the comments what you thought about this episode, like the video, and help me out, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Program restart.